Hey everybody, I'm going to give you my top 10 whiskeys of 2024. Let's go.
Top 10 of 2024.
Number 10.
Alright, so I'm going to start off by giving you my number 10. This is the Doc Swinson's Golden Hour. If you see this new label scheme that they've got going on at Doc Swinson's, pick up one of these new bottles. Because if it has this new type of label, it is really freaking good. But the Golden Hour specifically is a rye that has multiple finishes, and this is their answer to Midwinter's Night Dram, to give you a finished rye that is twice as good at half the price. And so twice as good at half the price, that tells you it's 4 times better than Midwinter's Night Dram. And so I'm telling you, if you get a chance to pick up Doc Swinson's Golden Hour, go pick it up. It's absolutely fantastic.
Number 9.
Next on my list is the Evan Williams 12 year. I think the 2024 edition of the Evan Williams 12 year is absolutely fantastic. Just go down to the Evan Williams Experience in Louisville, Kentucky and grab this latest year's edition of the Evan Williams 12 year, and it gives you everything you want in a bourbon without breaking the bank.
Number 8.
Alright, next up you've got the HeavenHill series that just came out in 2024. They've got the wheated, they've got the bourbon, and they've got the rye. Some people prefer one over the other. I really liked the wheated, and so I'm putting just the grain to glass series from HeavenHill as my number 8 because I think they did a great job. They knocked the ball out of the park with this series of grain to glass whiskeys. They are freaking excellent.
Number 7.
Alright, next up I have the 2024 Cellar Aged from Maker's Mark. I thought this edition this year was fantastic, and just to make sure I was putting the right one in the top 10, I tried it against the wood finishing series that they called the Heart Release, and I tried it against the Lost Recipe series that got a lot of reviews, and a lot of people liked the Heart Release and the Lost Recipe series, but when I tried them side by side on a live stream, the Cellar's Age knocked them both out of the park. And so my number 7 is the Maker's Mark 2024 Cellar Age release.
Number 6.
Alright, and for number 6 is the Larsen C924. I thought this was the best batch of the year. I tried it against the other Larsenis and the other Elijah Craig Barrel Proof series. They put out 3 per year of the Larsen and the Elijah Craig, and I thought the Larsen C924 was the best out of the 6. And so for my number 6 out of the top 10, I'm putting Larsen C924. This is a fantastic bottle, and it's like $55 out the door. You cannot go wrong with the C924 Larsen.
Number 5.
Alright, bringing in the top 5, the Wild Turkey 70th anniversary. This was the first bottle of the year that I bought a backup bottle of, because this is $50 something out the door. It is an 8-year age stated 70th anniversary special blend of Wild Turkey, and it is really, really good. I really like this bottle. That's why it's definitely making the top 10 of the year.
Number 4.
Alright, moving on to number 4, I'm putting the 2024 release of the old Rip Van Winkle 10-year 107 proof. I just filmed a side-by-side review with the Weller 107 versus the old Rip Van Winkle 10-year, and man, this release this year is really good. If you can find this at MSRP, go out and grab one. Spoiler alert, when I did this side-by-side, I confirmed that the 2024 release of the old Rip Van Winkle was literally twice as good as the Weller 107. So if you are a fan of these Buffalo Trace Tater bottles, the 2024 release of the old Rip Van Winkle is really freaking good, but don't get suckered by them secondary prices.
Number 3.
Alright, for my number 3, you got the Little Book Infinite. The Little Book Infinite was an absolutely mind-blowing bottle. The presentation value alone is absolutely gorgeous, and it is absolutely delicious whiskey. I enjoyed it a lot, and honestly, this bottle knocked out the Booker's, the 2024 03 release Master Distillers batch of Booker's is probably my favorite batch of Booker's, but this Little Book Infinite knocked it out of the top 10 because I wasn't going to put both of them in there. I figured it was one or the other, and this one definitely took the cake. So if you can find this guy at MSRP, I would highly suggest it because it is a really, really good whiskey.
Number 2.
Alright, now we're moving on to the top 2. Number 2 is the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill Special Barrel. There was a few different releases of single barrels from Coy Hill that were released with this tater orange label right here. Now if you look at the neck label, you can see they're about 11 years old and they are absolutely delicious. Some of the best whiskey you'll ever have. They're about $125 if you find them at MSRP. Do not pay the $400, $500 you see them at secondary. But if you can find them at retail, then you'll see why they made the top 5 of my top 10 list. These Coy Hill Special Release are fantastic. Alright, so before I show you my number 1 favorite whiskey of 2024, I'm going to tell you what the runner-up was. Now I know that makes this list technically a top 11 as opposed to a top 10, but I could not figure out where I wanted to put the Horse Soldier Single Barrel Store Pick in my top 10, but I knew it had to be in the top 10. I just didn't know where to place it. So I'm putting it as the runner-up for first place because I love everything about this bottle. I love the flavor, I love the proof point, I love the bottle, I love the people. I love what this bottle stands for. I love everything about it. The only thing I don't love about it is I don't know which distillery it came from. But we'll talk about that later. Moving on.
Number 1.
And my number 1 favorite whiskey from 2024 is the Jack Daniel's Hero Release Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye. These bad boys were hitting the shelves like wildfire. You could find them on every military base. They had so many additions this year. After I bought multiple different single barrels, I got to the point where I wasn't buying any more because I had too many. But considering the fact that these are $60 out the door and they are the best bang for your buck on this shelf, bar none, the Jack Daniel's Heroes Selection Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye takes the number 1 slot as the best whiskey of 2024 in my opinion. So let me know which whiskeys on this list that you agree with or which whiskeys you would replace with something else. Let me know in the comments what you think. But if you didn't get a hold of one of these heroes, I don't know how much I can trust your opinion. You've got to get a hold of one of these to see what you're missing this year. Thanks for watching. Protect, enjoy. Cheers.